fans? It's Hap here with my boy Skip. Skip, say hello to the people.
What up, what up?
And we have another podcast for you guys, episode 6, I believe. And we have a pretty good show for you guys today. We're going to be talking about all kinds of weird, random topics here and there. We got De'Aaron Fox dropping Team USA. Team USA didn't drop De'Aaron Fox. De'Aaron Fox dropped Team USA.
You sound Malcolm X. You sound like Malcolm X right now. We didn't land on Plymouth Rock. Plymouth Rock landed on us.
Luke Walton is in the clear, I guess.
Guess so.
That's our next story. And then somebody sent some shots towards Willie Cauley-Stein's house. We have all kinds of weird random stories here. This isn't a normal show. This is like, and then we're gonna end up with some NBA 2K talk because the demo just came out. I got some thoughts on it. Skip hasn't played it yet, so I'm gonna give him the lowdown on how he should feel. He doesn't get to have his own opinion. I tell him how he should feel. And
nothing new here. This is how we do it apparently at Sacktown Breakdown.
So before we get into those topics, you guys can find us on YouTube, Twitch, Podbean, iTunes, Google Play, anywhere where we can be found. Anywhere you can find anybody, you can find us. Twitch, or Twitter. We have a Twitter. So just go to YouTube. The easiest way is probably to go to one of our YouTube videos and just go into the description there, and you'll find all the links for anything you ever wanted. And go and follow us on all those platforms because if you're a fan of us, you should do that, right? I would think so. Before we get into those topics as well, I have some shout outs to give. Recent commenters on the channel, Meredith Leavitt. That's okay. So Meredith Leavitt, and then the next one kind of messes with me. And then his name is Get Off Me. His first name's Get Off. His last name's Me, apparently. Next guy, Drew Bands and Bud4209. So those four are some of our four most recent commenters. And then I have 4 recent Twitch followers. Fib0, I guess.
That's the homie Phoebo from my channel. What up, Phoebo?
Phoebo, okay, yeah. See, I don't do good with letters and numbers mixing. I mean, I guess Tap2K, I did the same thing, but I don't know. It's hard for me to read it. See, I want to read this. Lots of Sheep. Lost of Sheep 26. And then No Hezzy Hoops and Leak for Prez. New Twitch followers, new YouTube commenters. Thank you guys so much for the support. It's greatly appreciated. And let's get on to the show. So, how you feeling, Skip?
Man, I'm feeling really good, especially since there's some things that brought some relief to me as someone who wasn't a big Luke Walton fan from some of the stuff that I've seen down in LA. So there's a little relief for me, but I'm fired up, man. I'm ready to tear into some of this news and cut it up with my boy Tap one time. Let's get it, Tap. Let's get it.
All right. So actually, the most important news story of the day I forgot to mention. Look at these bad boys, huh? What do you think?
Hey.
What do you think about my glasses? I got some glasses. If you're listening, you probably don't see them because you're listening, obviously. But I got some glasses. They're not prescription. They're just to try to take the strain off my eyes. But I do think I look far more professional than I did before. And I think it's going to help me go places in life. You know, everybody respects me with glasses. If you have glasses or an English accent, if you have both, you got to be a genius. You got to be in Mensa. But anyways, here we go. First story. Fox drops Team USA. He says, I don't need you guys. I'm out of here. I'm focusing on the Kings. And he had some pretty good quotes. He basically, he left. And a lot of people were messaging me and being like, well, why did he leave? It doesn't make any sense. I don't get it. Why would he? And I don't really have an answer. Maybe there was the last game he played. He only got like 6 minutes. And maybe he was kind of upset that he didn't get that many minutes. Or maybe he just kind of figured, I don't want to injure myself or do something stupid. It's just not worth it. I have really no clue what his thinking was, but what he did say, what I really liked, he had an interview like a couple days after he left Team USA, and he did say that he said that he gave a quote. It was something like, paraphrasing here, if you play for a big market like the Lakers or when he didn't name a team, if you play for a big market, not as many people care if you do good, but if you play for a small market, the whole town goes crazy if you start winning. And I think he just doesn't want to risk injury, doesn't want to risk anything bad happening because he wants the playoffs so bad for the Kings. That would be my guess. But yeah, Team USA roster, on the other hand, they're looking a little thin. They just got beat by Australia last night. That's all I'm going to say about that. They really could have used De'Aaron Fox. But our boy De'Aaron, he's loyal to the Kings.
Mm-hmm.
and that makes me happy. Skip, how do you feel about it?
I was good with it, man. Kind of similar to what Bagley said. It was a resounding. We want to focus on the next season. We want to get ready for the next season. That
Yeah.
was the secondary part of his quote, and you already know, as someone else who is a diehard Kings fan, we have been trash for so long, and now that we're turning that corner, the only thing you could, I mean, what more could you want from your
Yeah.
point guard, from the guy leading your team, than to say, above playing for my country,
Mm-hmm.
my focus is taking my team in Sacramento to the next level. You can't want any more than that, man. That's should be the heart and the desire and the mind state and the mentality of the guy leading the team. And it just so happens that another one of the core pieces, Marvin Bagley, gave a very similar account before he stepped away from Team USA and the FIBA competition. So I'm really good with it, man. We have one person still there, who is Harrison Barnes, and he is seasoned enough, takes care of his body enough, already has a ring. And of course, we don't want him to risk injury, but he also doesn't have an injury history if you look at his bill of health while he's been in the NBA. So I'm just fine with it, to know that I almost feel like he used it as a temperature check. Like, let me see how I am against the rest of my guys real quick, when we will play a little bit more serious and won't sandbag when we're just in the gym. And I think he saw where he was with it, especially against the the blue versus white team.
Yeah. I think that's what it's called.
Hey, you had like 11 points in like 10 minutes or in 11 minutes or something like that. Heck of assists and a few defensive plays. He saw where he was. He saw the Rico programming and where it said, and then Rico pulled him out, and Rico said, okay, yeah, we're going to pull you out too. Let's go ahead and put you back in the incubator, because we about to get in the playoffs, baby.
So yeah, and in our Kings Discord we have here, by the way, follow or join our Discord if you haven't already. We have a bunch of different ones. We have a 2K one, a Sacktown Breakdown one, just a Kings 2019-2020 season one. But somebody sent this one in right here, this little screenshot of, you probably can't read it, but it says on the bottom there, in the little ticker or whatever, it basically says, buy De'Aaron Fox wanting to stay with the Kings, like, do we buy it? And I'll tell you what, that really irritated me. De'Aaron Fox comes in a conversation because of the Team USA thing and how great he's been playing, and then all these national media outlets, they have to talk about, do we buy De'Aaron Fox wanting to stay with the Kings? Because that was the national media's response to the quote I gave you guys. The quote I gave you guys about him saying, "Oh, if we make the playoffs here, the town's gonna go crazy." And their response is to try to pry De'Aaron Fox from out of our hands. Try to pry him out of our hands and try to take him away from us, because that's what the national media wants to do. And it's just, I probably shouldn't be giving it any attention, but it's annoying, and it annoys me. And I don't know. I just figured I should mention that De'Aaron Fox ain't going anywhere. At least I hope so. And DeMarcus Cousins did give a similar quote. He did say when he was on the team years back that he wanted to be like the hero of the city. He wanted to be the one that takes us to the playoffs. It didn't happen, but for any young talent we do have here, that's like a major goal for them. And if they're striving for it, they're going to be pushing hard this season, and I'm excited. It's just annoying seeing the national media stuff with the, do you really think he wants to stay with the Kings? It's like, no, he lied. He didn't mean that. He lied when he said that. It's like, whatever. I'm sorry. I'm not going to try to rant. I can't even get one topic out of the way without going off on something. But okay, new topic. Not going to rant. Luke Walton. The case has been closed on the Luke Walton sexual assault thing. I guess I can read the article word for word, right? This ESPN article.
Yes, sir. May as well. Oh, or if you don't mind, I could read it too. That's not a problem.
Was that the one, the ESPN article? Is that the one that you wanted to read? The quote,
This one came right off of the Kings website.
Oh, that one. Okay, yeah.
The official statement that the Kings put out. So
here at the Sacktown Breakdown, we don't have all of our links lined up quite yet. We're only 6 episodes in.
Yep, give us a break. We're getting there.
Yeah, Luke Walton. While he pulls that up, Luke Walton, he is free, I guess. I mean, I'm not a lawyer, so I don't know anything about anything. But I will say that it seems, like when I watched the lady's press conference, it seemed a little weird to me. She seemed kind of nervous. And I know, don't get me wrong, I'm sure she's nervous, but I don't know. The press conference, I just kind of, she seemed off. And then she refused to she refused to take part in the case, I guess, or refused to talk to investigators. I don't know if that is necessarily a proof of her being guilty and that she lied. I don't know necessarily, because I'm not a lawyer. I don't know these things. I don't want to accuse her of something one way or another. But he's free now, I guess. He's off of it, so that's good. Do you have the quote?
Yep, got it pulled up right now, and I'll kind of give, to go into your point of, how this looks on her behalf. I'll go into it a little bit of my own thoughts on it after I read this lovely press release that's, just taking a second to load up. Here we go. Okay, so Kings and NBA announce conclusion of investigation. Now, everybody bear in mind, this was not just an investigation by only the Sacramento Kings. It was an investigation by the Sacramento Kings in conjunction with the NBA League office. So this is something that was taken very seriously. Mm-hmm. And here it is, as I quote: "The Sacramento Kings and the NBA announced today the results of an investigation into allegations of improper conduct made by Kelly Tennant against Kings head coach Luke Walton. Ms. Tennant elected not to participate in the investigation. Based on this and the available evidence, the investigators determined that there was not a sufficient basis to support the allegations made against Coach Walton. On April 22, 2019, Ms. Tennant filed a civil lawsuit against Coach Walton, and on April 23rd, held a press conference in which she described claims of sexual assault, verbal and physical harassment, and unwanted physical contact over a 3-year period. 2 days later, the Kings and the NBA commenced an investigation. The investigatory team was led by Sue Ann Van Dermeden from the Sacramento law firm Van Dermeden Maddox, and Elizabeth Maringer, Senior Vice President and Assistant General Counsel of the NBA. So one of them was a third-party lawyer from Sacramento, so someone that can be on the scene local and can, really look into things locally and investigate Walton and talk to him and whatnot. Only an hour flight away from LA, so you can go down there, talk to Ms. Tennant's lawyers and legal team and whatnot. And then we have someone from the league offices. And this person is the senior vice president and the general assistant general counsel of the NBA of Adam Silver. And they're both 2 female. So, which was, I think, very smart by the NBA. I mean, of course, I think it could have been conducted by 2 males as well. But just so there is that, it can be said, hey, this is, for something that seems to be, for the person filing the claim, since she's a female, we'll go ahead and put people in that are her same gender, just so we can't say there's any bias there. So this is a completely objective interview and investigation. We'll go ahead and begin the quote again. During the investigation, more than 20 individuals were interviewed, including Coach Walton, and numerous documents and other relevant materials were reviewed. The investigators made repeated attempts to interview Ms. Tennant, so that means that Van Dermeden and Maringer both made repeated attempts to talk to Ms. Tennant and probably her legal team as well. But through her counsel, so her counsel would be her legal team, she declined the opportunity. So she just didn't show up. She did respond to their invitations, and she declined them. She said, "No, I will not interview you." The investigation is considered closed unless new evidence becomes available.
So that tells me right away, my opinion, that seems to me like she thought she was going to real easily have a press conference, accuse him of some things, boom, she was going to win. And then she was like, oh, wait, I didn't win. None of that actually happened that easy. And she's like, panic. And then just, okay, I'm done. Don't talk. That's what it seems like to me.
Yeah, I mean, I feel a similar way, just from the sequence of events. It depends, I wasn't there, and I like to give people the benefit of the doubt, but I believe that the evidence has to be there to support the claim, because, we would live in a terrible world if one, obviously, if people who are victims are completely ignored, but 2, if people who are false claims are made against, you can just falsely claim something, and now you've ruined an entire man's life, his main opportunity to support his wife and kids, all of his family members that depend on that income, as well as the team and a franchise and organization who just put millions of dollars behind this person and all of their families and everything. A lot of people were to be affected by this, A, if it were true, and B, if it was false. And as of right now, there's just not enough evidence to support the claim. Of course, it does say that Miss Tennant's legal counsel did respond and decline. So, of course, it can be said that, hey, because the civil suit technically is still going on through the courts. So wherever it is, wherever we all are in the process of that civil suit going through, they, I guess, maybe felt like it might have compromised their case if she spoke. Now, usually, to me, that doesn't look good. Like, yeah, it may be smart because you want to give yourself every opportunity to win, but if it's true and if it's just the truth, you should be able to go and speak it, because if the NBA is involved and they're like, hey, you give us proof, we're going to deal with this guy, and she doesn't go, looks a little suspect.
Yeah, 100%. I couldn't have said it better than you did. That's exactly how I feel. It just seems, I don't know. I don't want to get into, I don't want to sit here and say like, like you shouldn't ever, because there's a thing where people are like, oh, a lot of people act like you have to take the victim's side always, and if you don't, you're a terrible person. And it's like, I don't look at things like that. To me, I look at it, but that's kind of getting into a whole nother topic I don't really want to get into. But it's just like, I don't see how people can just automatically take the victim's side always, when it's like, and I watched the press conference, and she seemed, I'll just say she seemed sketchy to me. That's just how the way she was talking, and like she would say something and then she'd kind of look around, gauge the room, and take a real long, like elongated swallow. Then she would continue. It was just weird. I thought it was weird to me. It was sketchy. So I guess I'll say I didn't really believe it from the start. Not because he's the Kings coach, because I don't have any relationship with Luke Walton. I don't have any bias for Luke Walton. He would have been the Kings coach for like. So if he had gotten fired right when this came out, he would have been the Kings coach for like 2 days in the middle of the summer or whatever, in the middle of spring. You know what I mean? It's not like he was the Kings coach for 5 years and he was the best coach you've ever had. I wouldn't have cared if he got fired. It would have made Vlade look dumb, but he's done enough of that over the years, I think. So, and I love Vlade, but so yeah, I didn't have any bias towards Luke Walton. She just seemed sketchy to me straight up, and I think this kind of backs up my original feelings of her being sketchy to me. But yeah, I don't want to get like political or anything here, so I'm going to leave it at that.
Innocent until proven guilty, and our justice system isn't a perfect system, because the world we live in isn't a perfect world, and the people that we interact with aren't perfect people. So the system that the people make can't be perfect, but we do have a system in place. There is a process, and as of right now, they're still going through the legal part of the process, but you had a lawyer who knows that process and a very high-level ranking vice president who is serious about keeping this league clean and having and people living up to the expectations of how and the standards of the community within this business and organization. And they had every reason to serve justice from on their end and to support what was going on in the legal system. They did not find enough evidence to support the claimant's claim. So as far as I'm concerned, same thing. I don't have no personal thing against Luke. For Luke Walton or against Luke Walton. When this stuff allegedly happened, he was part of the Warriors coaching staff. So this stuff allegedly happened before he was even down in LA. So, and I think maybe some of it might have spilled over to there. But as far as I know, when I read previously, majority of it, the main act allegedly happened when he was with the Golden State Warriors. So I have no dog in this fight. The only thing I wanted to see was justice be served. And as a fan of the Kings team and as a member of the community, A, see her get her justice, or B, us as Kings fans move forward and look forward to this season and put all this garbage behind us.
Let me just end this topic by saying this. Adam Silver stopped the All-Star break from going to Charlotte because of them not having transgender bathrooms, I believe.
Yep.
So if we supposedly had a rapist, sexual assault head coach, he would have stepped in and nipped that in the bud and got him out of there.
Yep.
So
if there was evidence for it.
Yes, 100%. So I think we're in the clear. It's done. We move on from here. No more Luke Walton. No more Kelly Tennant. And no more sexual assault stories, hopefully, in the future.
I agree.
It's
So
I'm
what's
glad we got
next,
that
my
topic
man?
out of the way.
Me too. I feel like I need to take a shower after that.
So somebody decided it was a good idea to send some shots towards Willie Cauley-Stein's house. Yesterday, he was, it was weird. So the story is that I'll kind of read the article from Sacramento Bee. That's the easiest way for me to deliver this information. 3 men were wounded early Friday at a South Sacramento home being leased by a former Sacramento Kings star, and the man suspected of shooting has been arrested. So when I had originally read this, he hadn't been arrested yet, and he was still running around Sacramento with an assault rifle or I don't know, some sort of rifle and a body armor. Deputies searched for Trey Devon Hallman, 25, for several hours after the shooting occurred around 5:30 a.m. in a sleepy but well-to-do home in Vineyard, which is east of Highway 99 in the Valley High North Laguna neighborhood of Sacramento. Officers with help from Oakland Police Department and other agencies arrested Hallman in Antioch around 2 p.m. without incident, according to Sheriff spokeswoman Sergeant Tess Detertering. So yeah, they caught him. But apparently, from what I read, or not from what I read, but my father had told me that Willie hasn't lived in that house for like a year, I guess. But it seems to me like they're still saying that he's leasing it, or maybe he did lease it and he doesn't lease it anymore. I don't know, but yeah, that was a weird story. I was thinking like, whoa, what's Willie? I didn't know Willie was involved with some straight up gangsters. I thought it was like Willie was pushing drugs and going hard in the paint, and then I realized it had nothing to do with Willie. Really, they used his name for the headline. But I did turn to the news, and I was thinking, okay, there's a guy with a gun and body armor running around Sacramento. Is there going to be like a helicopter, flying around? If someone's barricaded inside a home and they're going crazy, usually they follow that, and there was none of that. I was like, okay, well, hopefully I don't run into this guy at some point today, but I didn't, obviously. I have my beautiful glasses, which are bulletproof, by the way, so I would have been fine anyways. Not really. The bandana's bulletproof, though. Yeah, I didn't run into the guy. He got caught, and everything's okay, but Willie Cauley-Stein had some shots his way. Not really. I just wanted to rhyme. Skip, how did you feel about the situation? And did you run into this man? Did you have to duck and dodge? Did you have to dive for cover? What happened exactly?
I am actually the brave soul that apprehended this man single-handedly. Thank you.
Oh, man.
Thank you, Kingdom. You can thank me. I'm such a Kings fan. I even kept Willie Cauley-Stein's rental home that's in his name only for his friends to live there. I even kept that place safe, so you're welcome. What were you about to say?
Is that his friends? Are those his friends that?
I mean, I don't have any official word on that, but that's my inclination because, usually people that, more affluent people will have many different rental properties. They'll have their homes that they own, usually in the nicest, most gated, communities. And then, in the suburbs or well-to-do communities, if they have cousins that are staying out here, or, they'll get a house for their family where people can come and stay. That's likely what that was. Willie Cauley-Stein probably never ever stayed there, but he most likely just, leased it out. I know he has 2 close friends that have been with him pretty much the whole time out here since draft. And I will say I have progressively seen their image change from good old wholesome, we're just happy to be here college kids, to a little more edgy and whatnot.
Really?
I've got some, oh yeah. And I've got some friends that know Willie Cauley-Stein and kind of been out there on the scene, the downtown Sacramento midtown scene. And I heard some not so savory things that I won't quote here, but I'll definitely say, there was an element around him that no one would want around him. And even me personally, he had posted some things on Instagram during last season. And I don't want to make it seem like I was all big and tough and I checked him, but just as someone, he was on our team and I care about him. He's an impressionable young man. I was like, hey, bro, the language that you're using and the things that you're talking about don't really seem like they would lend to you having a good and peaceful and prosperous future. And he kind of flipped it and said, nah, I meant this. And I was talking about music. And I was like, oh, okay, all right, just checking. And I mean, overall, it was a peaceful interaction, more peaceful than the Twitter interaction between me and De'Aaron Fox about him wearing Lakers-colored shoes when he played the Lakers, but that's another story. Let's just say I got roasted on Twitter because I stood up to D Fox and was like, hey, man, maybe it's not such a good idea to wear Lakers-colored shoes when we play the Lakers because we kind of hate them.
Yeah.
And so many D Fox fans were just roasting me for he could wear whatever shoes he wants, but he was a rookie. It was his first year, and then that video with Bleacher Report came out about how, like, I did, before the second season, I did some research and I found out what Sacramento fans really like. Like, basically, he found out how much we hate the Lakers and how sucky we've been for so long and how dedicated we are and how bad we want them to succeed. But back to Willie Cauley-Stein. Yeah, this, he wasn't anywhere near the residence. It was likely just a home that is in his name, and likely some knucklehead found out where the location was because probably some of his friends or family members or cousins was popping off talking about who they the cousin of, who they the friend of, and how they living big over here in this house. That's why you don't. I'm not a big fan of flexing, period. But if you do, don't never tell nobody where you live.
Yeah.
Dummy. Anyway, so I'm just glad that it doesn't seem like anybody died, so
Nah.
I'm happy about that.
Yeah, and when you were apprehending the suspect, you could have died, but you didn't because you're a hero though. So
well, my Worthington Colt jersey is bulletproof, so not really much to worry about, and so is my beard. So as long as you shot from here and here, that'd have been fine.
All right, well, there goes all the stories. So we got De'Aaron Fox dropping a whole country. We got Luke Walton, not a sexual assaulter. And we got Willie Cauley-Stein involved in some frivolous activity. I don't know if I used that word correctly. But we do have some NBA. Is it frivolous? Is that right?
Why not? Sure.
Okay. And then now, finally, we have just some NBA 2K talk. I don't know if you guys have played the demo. If you have, comment below in the comment section if you're on YouTube and tell us your experience with the NBA 2K20 demo so far. I'd love to hear it. And while you're at it, make sure you go ahead and rate the comment or rate the podcast in the iTunes or Google Play. Leave reviews, 5 stars. No, leave a 1 star if you think it's 1 star. It is what it is. If we suck, let me know. Let us know. But 5 star though. NBA 2K talk. Let's go. So Skip has yet to play the demo. I have a video on it on my channel, youtube.com/tap2k, and I have some opinions on it. So we get a little taste of the gameplay, because basically, literally, all the demo is. I hit the mic, my bad. So literally, all the gameplay is for the demo. And Skip, I want you to be listening because you might be disappointed. You might think that the demo is a little more than it is. It's not a prelude. There's no story at all. All you do is make your character. You make the build you want, and you play a game with 5-minute quarters, I think, against the Raptors. That's all you do. So make your character, play a game of 5-minute quarters with the Raptor, or on the Warriors. No, where are you? No, you're on the Raptors against the Warriors. My bad.
Yeah.
And that's it. There's no prelude, and it was really weird because I just figured it'd be the prelude. I'm like, whatever, it's the same thing they do every year. So then I believe Chris Move uploaded a video of the prelude. He uploaded like 5 videos, and it's like basically the prelude. So I thought, okay, we're about to get home from work and record this big long prelude, and it wasn't that. And I was like, okay, that's weird. I had no clue. I thought it was going to be a prelude, but the demo. So you can make 6 builds of whatever you want. Point guard, shooting guard, small forward, power forward, center. You can do 6 different characters. You can't delete builds. So once you make 6 builds, that's it. And basically, they kind of sold the demo to us. Not that you have to pay for it, but they kind of sold it to us as like, you get to experiment and practice with what you want in the real game. So like, if you want to make a small forward that's a playmaker, if you want to make a LeBron type player, then you get to experiment with the builds here, and you get to make that exact player so that when the game comes, you're familiar with all the badges, because there's like 80 new badges, so you know what you want your player to do, how you want your player to do it. You can choose your takeover this year. So, but the thing that's weird about the demo is that when making your character, there's these pie charts, and essentially the pie charts have, when you're making your character, there's a pie chart for your skill breakdown, and I'm going to put it on the screen right now just with my phone. So if you're watching, the blue is finishing, the green is shooting, the yellow is playmaking, and the red is defense/rebounding. And there's more than this. I think there might be like 10 or so. But basically, that's how you know, like, okay, so my player is going to be this good at this part of his game. Like, I think I might have chose shooting. I think I chose the one up top, shooting and defense and rebounding as my top two, and then finishing and playmaking are kind of like what I'm not as good at. And the thing is, though, apparently on Twitter, Mike Wang, who's one of the developers of the game, said there's a lot more pie charts. So if you're playing the demo to try to experiment with what kind of players you have, but you don't even have, or what kind of player you want to play as, but you don't even have all the pie charts to like make all the players you could possibly make, it's kind of like, what's the point of the demo? It just doesn't really make sense. Because also there's a second pie chart for your physical profile, and that one right here is agility, strength, and vertical. And I don't remember which one of these I chose. Oh, I think I chose, there's one where they're all even, and I chose that one. But it's just kind of weird because like they said that you could basically make hundreds or whatever of builds or thousands of builds or something, but you can't. But they said you could in the demo. And then also there's a weird thing too with they said that they were going to limit jump shot animations to like height and weight. So if you're a big man, you can't have like a shooting guard jump shot animation, probably because stretch fours were so overpowered in 2K19. Everybody was making like a 6'10", like Kristaps Porzingis player, basically.
It was so toxic. It was so toxic. Like you get basically a defensive like finisher, or like a rebounding rim protector, and then a stretch four, and you can't do anything. You're dead in the water at the park.
So they said that they were going to make it to where, like, by height and weight, I think they said if you're 6'8" but under 220, you can have any animation. But if you're 6'8" and over 220, then you're going to be limited to like just some of the big man animations. But then they changed it and said, "Oh, Mike Wang tweeted, oh, we're not going to do any of that. Any player can have any jump shot animation they want." So basically, it looks like we're still going to have cheesy big men shooting like Steph Curry. I don't know. It's weird. And then Ronnie2K tweeted out a couple days ago, or let me find it. He tweeted out essentially like all the things that they've gotten feedback on and that they're gonna change. And it's okay. So here it is. Ronnie2K tweeted, "So I am seeing the following feedback in my tweets. I want to make sure there's nothing else I forgot. Custom or more pie charts." So people want the ability, those pie charts I showed you, people want the ability to customize those to where they can make their player do this much playmaking, this much defense and rebounding. Like, and I do agree with that. I think that's the way to go. Although if it's like all shooting, if you can make it all shooting and be like 99 and shoot like 3-pointers from half court, that would be ridiculous. But they said custom / more pie charts, make small forwards better, because small forwards because small forwards, I don't know. From what I heard, small forwards were kind of underpowered, but I don't know really how they are. It's just something I heard. I don't know the details of it. Stamina, blow-bys, hop-step dunks, overpowered screens, and shot meter size, which Mike Wang already said they're fixing. Because shot meter is like super small. It's like it's the same shot meter from 2K19, but it's like way smaller. It's weird. And they didn't change it in the demo, so when you play Skip, you'll see how small shot meter is. By the way, did you see how they were going to have the different animations for green releases?
No, I didn't see.
So there's I think 3 new animations for green releases you can choose, where like one, if you green release, there's like a splash under your feet. It's just kind of like small, but I like it a lot. I think it's cool.
Okay.
But yeah, it's 2K trying to make changes, and then people complain. And when people complain, they go back and all their changes they made. And I just don't get, it's like last year defense, and when 2K19 first came out, defense was super hard last year at the beginning of the year. And like, at least in my team. And about a month into the game, defense was, unless I just got used to it, but I don't think so. Defense basically almost became 2K18 by the end of the year. It was like just easy. You could blow by people a lot easier. And I don't know. It's just annoying when 2K folds to the pressure of the community. And like, I will say this though, the build that I made, I've only made one build so far, and it was like basically a Russell Westbrook type player, but with better shooting. And you can choose what overall you want your build to play as when you play your game. So I chose 99. Not that I'm going to get to 99 because I don't grind my career that much. But if I'm going to make a Russell Westbrook type point guard, I would like to see what he could possibly be at his very best. And he was so slow, it was crazy. Like the game plays a lot slower, and like it just feels like you're in molasses when you run. And Mike Wang did say they're gonna buff that, but that's almost something I would rather wait till the full game comes out and buff it like a weekend if it's that bad. I don't know. It just seems like they're trying to make too many changes. Because like one of the big things with 2K20 is the dribble animations. They said the dribbles are going to be all its own animation, so you're not going to get big long animations with like a bunch of dribbles. If you want to do like a bunch of dribbles, you got to chain them together yourself. But you don't have like any signature or like moves or anything in the demo, so you can't even try that out. So it's like, why did they do that? Why couldn't they give us a couple dribble packages so we could at least try out the dribbling? It just, the whole thing, or at least let us play with like Steph Curry or something so we could see what the dribbles are like. It's just like a bunch of little things in the demo are just kind of weird. It's like, if you are really excited for 2K and you've never played it much and you're pretty casual, you'll be like, okay, this is like, I get to play the new game. But if you're like somebody that's really deep into the game, like Skip plays a lot of my career in Park, I play a lot of my team, it's kind of just like, whatever, wait for the full game to come out. I don't know. It's kind of disappointing of a demo for me. I don't know if they're planning on doing a prelude. I don't know if I didn't hear that they're planning on doing a prelude, but I didn't know that the demo wasn't a prelude, so maybe I don't know a lot. I don't know. I got to do some Googling, but I just figured, you know what? I got the game pre-ordered. I'm getting it when it comes out. I have a week of vacation that week, so whatever happens. When 2K comes out, I'll be here making videos. That's all I care about.
It's funny because while you were talking, well, it wasn't just while you were talking. I was having a conversation with my roommate Malik of the No Casuals Allowed channel and podcast. So if you guys haven't subscribed to them, find them, No Casuals Allowed, on Twitch, on YouTube, and they will soon be in the podcast app. But I was talking to him about it, and he was explaining some of those same things to me, and he said some of the same things you said, Tap, and I was thinking, and then he started talking about how some builds got nerfed and everything. And I was like, you know what? Working in the software industry, or the tech industry, and then also just seeing how updates roll out, I was like, you know what? I'm willing to bet that they want to nail this one down, and they made some significant changes so much that this demo literally is just we don't even know, but the demo's a beta. And they just threw it out there just to hear what the feedback would be immediately. I think they're still going to put out a prelude. And I think the prelude already has some of this stuff like already adjusted. They just want to see how people react to what this is. And then all the feedback from this, I don't think they're going to do anything with the prelude. I think the prelude already has some stuff adjusted. I think they're going to take all the feedback from this and roll it into 1.0.1 update. That first update when you got it pre-installed and you turn it on. Yes, that update, all the stuff that you're talking about now and a lot of the stuff the community's talking about, I think they're going to patch it in that. Yeah.
Here's my issue with that.
Sure.
One of the things they specifically said is they can't wait for the demo because it's almost like if you're going to... So that makes sense. What you just said makes sense. But if they have more pie charts, which means more my players that can be created, which means there could be more cheesy things in my player... Those things aren't going to get addressed day one because you didn't put them in the demo. So people weren't able to expose those cheesy things in order for them to patch it. It's like, why don't you if there is truly more pie charts, which I think people wanted custom pie charts, they wanted more pie charts, and they're like, oh, this isn't good enough. You guys want more? So they're going to throw them in the game last second. I don't think they had more coming. I personally think that they saw the feedback, was like, oh, we're going to throw more in there now, but we didn't have anything ready. That's what I think they're going to do. I don't think that they already had some ready. Because I don't understand why, if you had those, why wouldn't you put those in the demo? That way, if somebody makes the most overpowered thing in 2K history, you could have that nipped in the bud before the game comes out. You know what I mean? Like, so what you're saying makes sense, but they could have done more to get rid of the cheesiness before the cheesiness even starts, and they didn't. So it's just weird to me. I don't know. But yeah, you're right, though.
And I think the cheesiness, because so you think about the people like you and me who like more of the sim gameplay experience. We do want it to feel more like an actual NBA game, and we don't want we want things to be more balanced. We don't want things to be so overpowered, and the things that are overpowered, we want those overpowered moves or players or badges or builds to be justified. We want to know the reason for them and feel like that's a good reason for KD to play the way he plays in the game, or for Steph to play the way that he plays in the game. And I get that because we're the players, but I'm just putting my head into, and I'm not saying they're right. I'm just putting my brain into the brain of of a video game publisher. They want and it's kind of similar to the NBA. Look what happened in the NBA. Defense got softened, so scoring goes up because the more times a team scores, the more you cheer for that team, which feels like more fun, which feels like more joy, and then we got a better basketball product because people enjoy it more. I think it's kind of similar to this, whereas we don't want defense to be so compromised. They're thinking about it from a user standpoint. When you play the game, you don't care if someone else's defense sucks as long as you score. Like, you just want to dunk on people in my team, with Dominique, Dominique Wilkins, you know what I mean? You just want to dunk on people with Neek. Or some people just want to chuck threes with MJ from half court. Now, some of that stuff is ridiculous, but from a user standpoint, like, I ain't tripping if I chuck a three from half court with my pink diamond, MJ, and it goes in. Like, I'm not tripping. But if I go to my court and I'm playing, not a computer, but someone else one-on-one, and they're dropping all this cheese on my head, and I'm like, Ronnie, fix this now. It's a different thing. So I think what's going to happen is, and it's the same thing what happens with like DLC. Like, I'm a big Super Smash Brothers fan and player. And when DLC comes out, it's always OP. It's always overpowered. And then they give it about, basically they give it a time period of everybody who's going to buy it off the hype, which is usually between 3 to 6 weeks. And then they nerf that DLC. That DLC gets balanced out. And then the next DLC comes about 3 weeks later. And then that one's overpowered. They literally just banned a character in Super Smash Brothers out in Australia because it's so OP, and people were complaining about it at tournament so much. They're like, I'm not even going to come to the tournament.
Oh my
and the
gosh.
the tournament runners are like, the TOs are like, well, we can't have people not come because we depend on your money to sell snacks at this little video game store, So that's what they'll ban it, but that's kind of what it's going to be. Like that first patch, like the demo feedback and everything, I think is going to come from the first patch. I think we're going to get the prelude, and they're not going to do anything. They're not going to touch the prelude because the prelude is not going to be so much about gameplay. It's going to be about the prelude and the experience and the storyline. Mm-hmm. And then we're going to get that 1.0.1. But I feel like within the first week, no more than 3 weeks. I'm going to say 2 weeks tops because they're selling it. So they got to move fast. I think that's where we're going to get the patch that you're talking about, where once they find, because that's the other thing too. It's kind of like a game is kind of like a virus. You only know so much with beta testing until you put it out in the environment. And then when you see that 12-year-old kid who found something that's broken and then posted on Twitter and it gets retweeted, and now everybody at their middle school is using this build and using this cheese, that's when Mike and Ronnie and all those guys will, decide, and I'm not even going to say they're going to fix it. That's just when they'll decide what they're going to do about it.
Yeah, so, that's what I'm saying. My mindset was, why don't you put the highest probability for the most broken stuff in the game as possible right now? Right. That way it can be found out early. That's what Like, so I don't want to have the 12-year-old kid tweet that out now in the demo instead of tweeting it out 3 weeks from now. But then again, you can't play park in the demo, so there could be overpowered stuff in the park still.
See, that's what I was going to say. Like, you can't truly see how broken something is until they can take that thing into every area. Because as a software tester, they're going to say like, oh, okay, he did that. They're going to say, where did it happen at? Okay, it happened in the ante-up. Okay, they're going to see, like, was it 1v1? Was it 2v1? Because they have to take that bug and then they have to test it in every single part of the game to see where it needs to be fixed. They can't just look at it and be like, oh, okay, it just kind of doesn't happen like that. So they got to do all that thorough testing, and they can't really do it in a control, because that's what I'm saying with beta testing. You can only do so much in a controlled environment. You literally have to let people go to every end of your game, even the parts that you hid in the back when you go into the alleys of my park that you don't want to see because you got the crappiest, CGI guy you have there to do the back alleys. You got to let people go in there and do weird stuff to find out how broken is this stuff. So I feel you, like, obviously anybody who likes sim gameplay, as soon as the game comes out, we want it to be as set and ready to go as possible. it's just an unrealistic expectation that for the foreseeable future, I don't think will ever. I think it's always going to be it's going to be touch and go. It's going to be like, okay, we'll do as much as we can and then we'll put it out. How broken is it? Okay, it's this broken. Because some of the stuff we're going to find, like, I bet you that we're going to find that some similar builds from last season that were totally fine, they're going to have some busted and broken stuff.
Probably, yeah.
It's going to be weird like that. But we'll see. The good thing is, I've seen other indie games and other larger publishers, and even for how much people complained about NBA 2K19, you go and play a lot of other games. This is one of the best made, most well made and maintained games I've ever seen.
Yeah, lots of content in my team specifically. Like and Ronnie and Cash Nasty did a stream the other day, which is funny. Ronnie was hyping it up. Cash is coming to my house, and it was like, excuse me. Whoa, I didn't mean that to be so loud. My bad. I thought it was gonna be a quiet one. Basically, they were talking about like, oh, it's gonna be my team and blah 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 and this and that, and then hyping it up. Ronnie, he's the greatest hype man ever. And then they're just, I'm at the gym and okay, let me throw this on, and it's just like they're just on the screen with badges, and they're just talking about badges, and it's like it's fine, but like I can read the description of what each badge does. I don't need you to do this. And then anytime Cash Nasty asked anything to Ronnie about my team, he'd be like, oh yeah, well, you guys are gonna find that out soon enough, and blah blah blah. I'm like, why would anybody watch this? This is a waste of time. Click off, go back to my music, whatever. I'm just like, what? It's just Ronnie hypes things up way too much always. It's always like summer, and plus he streams on Caffeine TV. What's Caffeine TV? I've never heard that in my life.
Dude, I subscribed to Caffeine because he was doing giveaways there. Like he was doing pack openings, and he had like all this VC, and he would just like pull packs, and if he got like Galaxy Opal or something, like he would do like a little giveaway within the chat. But I swear, he is one of the, like, I'm just gonna go ahead and bust Ronnie out like this. Ronnie, I gotta keep it 100, dog. You are one of the worst hype beasts and one of the most undelivering people for a hype beast I have ever seen, dog. Like, I'm glad that you're active in the community and you make yourself accessible, but like between all your various ripped jeans and clothes and all that stuff, like, you just drench yourself in hype beastism, and you just hype stuff up, and dog, you do not be delivering. And it's the same thing on his stream. Like, it was so boring. I think he thought between the pack openings and I guess he was giving away some clothes that I guess that was good enough for like 14-year-olds. But I'm up here like, dog, give me some content, give me some passion, like play more My Park. You're playing some, but you're talking way more than you're playing. Like, get it together. So him and Cash Nasty, I know at least Cash Nasty probably made it interesting because he's ridiculous and his personality is so big. But like, and Caffeine is whack. I deleted the app. I'm done with Caffeine. All right. Anyway, that's my rant for Ronnie 2K and Caffeine and all that other crap.
LD2K, when he and Ronnie were on the same wavelength, Ronnie trended upward. LD2K came down. Now he's kind of back up, but he's doing 2K TV. He's not really quite up there on Ronnie's level. LD2K was always better than Ronnie, even though he was a Lakers fan. I always liked LD2K more. He always seemed more personable. Yep. He always seemed more like he cared more about the actual community. He seemed more like, okay, LD2K seemed like an actual kind of like a gamer that just happened to get the job at 2K. Ronnie 2K seems like, some of these sports reporters that have no idea what they're talking about because they actually went to college for journalism and they just happened to find a journalistic job. I don't know if that is journalistic a word. That is, right? A journalistic integrity. Yeah, that's a word. I had to use it in a sentence, like a spelling bee. But they happen to find a journalistic job but it's a sports job. Oh, I found a job, but it's in sports. So that's why you got 90% of these sports journalists have no idea what the hell they're talking about because they don't know anything about sports, never watched a sport in their life. They just have a journalist job. They found a job for them, but it's in sports. They're kind of learning the sport as they go. And you got these idiots that have no idea what they're talking about. And Eileen Voisin, she's not in Sacramento Bee anymore, but that would be an example of that. Point being is Ronnie 2K always seemed kind of like that. Like he was like, oh, I want to be a community manager, gaming guy, and then he got a job for 2K, and he's like, oh, so but he never seemed like he could connect with the fans. He just gets roasted all the time. People love LD2K. Nobody really roasts LD2K like that.
Nope.
They like LD2K. People roast Ronnie because he's annoying, and people see through his crap.
Thank you, Tap. we keep it 100 here at the Sacktown Breakdown, y'all. I swear, LD2K is like someone who has a real passion and a real love for what he does, and Ronnie 2K feels like he just does it so he can be special.
Yes, he seems
so he can be popular.
It's like he's there. God, what would be the good example of that? I'm trying to think. I just had one. I dropped it. It's like he thinks it's like Ronnie 2K is like the guy in the gym that's got a bunch of tattoos on his arms, and he's like talking. Hey, bro, what's going on? I haven't seen you in a while. He thinks everyone's at the gym to see him. It's like, no, we're here to lift weights, go on the treadmill, go on the elliptical. We don't play 2K so we can hear Ronnie 2K. We hear Ronnie 2K because we like 2K, and we have to put up with you because you give us the news. We're not here. He acts like we pay to hear him, and we play the game on the side as a hobby. No, we play the game as our hobby. We pay to play the game, and you're just there because we have to put up with you. If I could replace you with a broomstick, I would.
Bro, I was literally about to say, I don't want nothing bad to happen to Ronnie 2K, but wait, okay, hold on. We got a live chat coming in. No casuals allowed, a.k.a. my buddy Leek said, Ronnie was bullied in high school, and now he gets his revenge. For real, dog. Like, I swear, if we could, I don't want nothing bad to happen to Ronnie 2K, but if he got replaced by someone, I would not miss him at all.
Bring Rachel back. Make Rachel the community manager.
Hey, where did she go? She was in Sacramento at the start of last season with us on Media Day.
She's doing the laundry at Andre Roberson's house now.
Oh man, she didn't even get with a shooter, huh? It's all good.
But I think she did.
That knee bounces back so he can play that defense again.
She did move to something. I want to say it's on Netflix or Hulu. She's doing something. She is with Andre Roberson, so she's like, it's not like she married some bum on the street. She's got a guy that's got a lot of money. For somebody that doesn't shoot, he has a lot of money. Let's be real. If he could shoot the three, he'd be making like 3 times more. But hey, anyways,
maybe one day he'll be shooting threes at a high clip like us.
There you go. She did get. I remember when she left, it was for something else. I don't remember what it was. I'm trying to find it right now because now it bothers me. But yeah, she did move on to bigger and better things. It's not that she just decided that she had a boyfriend, so it's time for her to go. She did move on to something else. But yeah, Ronnie, get out of here. You're garbage. I'm sorry. I got to say it. And I hope to God one day I get to meet Ronnie 2K because I am going to grab his jeans and rip them even more. and say, go buy yourself a real pair of jeans for Ronnie 2K. I mean, he'll wear like oversized sweaters and like Kanye, like he'll wear like the oversized like Yeezy type clothing. It's just all of it. It's just so gross. It's like, and the worst part is, he was a Thunder fan with KD, then he all of a sudden he was a Warrior fan, he's going to the Warrior games, and now he's this fan and that fan, and can't get me wrong, Cash Nasty's annoying too. He's a Heat fan, then he's a Cavaliers fan, then he's a Lakers fan.
Because he's a Bron fan.
Dude, I can't stand the people that are specific player fans. I can't stand that. Now, I've always been a Carmelo fan, but I'm not wearing a Nuggets jersey or a Knicks jersey or a Thunder jersey or a Rockets jersey right now, am I? No, I'm wearing a Kings jersey.
That's right. Yeah, man, like I'll put it to you like this. This is how I'm gonna end this whole topic. I'll take Tap 2K over Ronnie 2K any day.
Ooh, bars. I'm not the only one with bars. Skip's got bars too.
Let's go.
Well, I think that's gonna end off the podcast. We just kind of buried Ronnie 2K. He's never coming back from that. Yeah, that's the podcast, guys. If you enjoy listening to us, please consider giving us a rating. Why don't you go ahead and tell the people how they can join our Discord?
Absolutely. For everybody who's watching live right now, I'm going to go ahead and put it in the chat in the Discord, and actually in our Twitch chat. But all you have to do is actually just contact us on Twitch. I mean, on Twitter. First, follow us on Twitter, and you can just hit us up. We'll follow you back. Or just add us and just say, hey, I want to come into the Discord, and then we'll send you a link. Because it is exclusive. It is invite only. But
yes.
You do need an invitation to enter the kingdom. We got walls. It's a fort. Just like Golden One Center got the panels on the outside. That's the fortress. You feel me?
Didn't stop that guy running around like 3 a.m. like 2 months ago.
Well, that's because I wasn't there.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's right.
Tap. But just hit us up on Twitter. We'll put or also if you're listening to the podcast, just scroll down to the notes, because in every single one of our podcasts, every YouTube video, and every time we go live on Twitch, we always put the links in there. So all you have to do is just go to the description in the video if this is YouTube, go into the chat if you're live on Twitch, or just go to the notes section in any of your podcast apps, and you will see the link for Tap2K's YouTube channel, for my Twitch channel, for the rest of the podcast, and as well as the Discord. And we talk, obviously, we're Sacramento Kings, Stockton Kings, and Kingsguard NBA 2K team podcast, but we cover, like, we'll talk about NBA news in there. We've got a channel for that. We've got a channel for NBA 2K specifically. We've got a channel just for the Kingsguard. The Kingsguard, they listen to our podcast. So if they're listening to it, you should be listening to it. And we still will be bringing an interview from one of them within the next few weeks. So expect to hear from Youssef or Colt or maybe somebody else. Who knows?
100%. Well, like I said at the top of the show, and like he just said, all of our links are in the description. So just, there's enough links that you can link to. There might be enough links in the descriptions of our videos to like wrap around Earth like 3 times. That's how many links we have in our videos. So you have no excuse not to be following us. But for Skip, I am Tap. Thank you guys so much for listening. It's greatly appreciated. And the 2K is 2 weeks away. The season's like a little less than 2 months away, I guess. Yeah. Or about 2 months away. And we are extremely excited. And we're about to blow up. I'm about to blow up. Skip's about to blow up. Sectown Breakdown's about to blow up. Everything's about to blow up. And you guys are here with us. You guys are in the early stages of it. And you're about to be experiencing something great, just like we are. So thank you guys so much for your support. We're nothing without you. Skip, say goodbye to the people.
We're getting ready to raid No Casuals Allowed because he just went live on Twitch. So follow him as well. And bye, people.
See ya. Talk to you in the next one.